You listening?
Welcome to the Craic'n Coachin podcast with Emmett McGinn and Donal McAllister. Donal, how's it going, my friend?
It's good, brother. How are you getting it, man?
Not too bad, mate. I'm just wrapping up the week. Been a pretty good week, all in. I believe you've also had a good week. You've spent some time away in Barcelona, mate. How was it?
Really good, mate. Bar constantly being reminded that there's pickpockets and being a wee bit on edge. Grand.
That's right.
But yeah, it was.
You didn't get pickpocketed, did you?
No, but do you remember that story I put up? And it was about the two girls that came up to me and were like, "Can we get a picture of you? Like we're doing like a challenge. We have to get a picture with a bald man." Someone texted me afterwards and was like, "Here, watch it," because they made it just pickpocketed you. And I was like, "Oh fuck!" But like I was wearing like zip up trousers and I only had my phone. I didn't bring my wallet or anything. Didn't bring anything else out with me. I was like, "Do you know what? If my phone gets lost, it is what it is. I can live without it. It doesn't bother me that much."
And is pickpocketing, is it like most prominent in Barcelona or something? Because I definitely have heard that myself before.
I actually don't know. I don't know at all. I don't know. Like my parents tell me that every time I go to anywhere, they're like, "Watch out, there's pickpockets." I'm like, "Fucking pickpockets everywhere, apparently." But no, mate, beautiful. It is actually so nice. I absolutely love architecture. For anyone that doesn't know, so just sort of going around and seeing the La Familia Sagrada and the Arc de, what's it called again? Arc de, can't remember. I'm not even gonna try and fucking pull it out. Arc de something. But yeah, it was beautiful. It's amazing to see other countries. It's amazing to see like architecture that's actually art as well, mate. Like I could have just sat on a bench staring at some of the chapels and the churches for hours. All the detail in every brick, all the detail in every single thing they've done to it. It's amazing.
Lovely stuff, mate. So was it sightseeing for a lot of it?
Yeah, a lot of sightseeing, a good bit of food as well. Didn't really partake too much in the sort of Spanish food, but as you seen, had my first steak.
Oh yeah, right enough. And I believe it didn't go down as well as I thought it would go. I assumed you were going to love it, but you weren't too fussed.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't really. It was okay. It was fine. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that guy. Yeah, maybe I'm just not a steak guy. But I think I will go try somewhere else as well. Just because, you can't just go off your first one, can you? Really?
At least you've tried it now.
Yeah. It was also like they didn't really offer me any sort of way of cooking it either. They would just brought it down the way it was.
It's not a good sign. Usually, that's the first thing they should be asking you. How would you like it cooked?
Oh, but we went back to that same place the next day, mate, and I got the chicken, and Rihanna had the salmon, and it was phenomenal.
Good restaurant then. I don't know. It's a strange one with a steak. Maybe they've just cooked it well done, and that's never going to be a good idea. You need to have it on the medium rare sort of side, a bit of pink inside at least.
It was. Did you not see the picture? No, it was like rare, the medium rare.
Okay. No,
yeah, which is actually like a big put off for me. I was like, I don't know if I can fucking even eat this. Like, it's definitely raw in the middle there.
You trained when you were away as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I got one session in, one full body session. So that kind of made up for my Monday, Tuesday, and then I always rest on Wednesdays, and then whenever I got back on Thursday, I just get stuck back into my usual upper lower.
So you didn't deviate too much, in terms of you just accommodated your split. Then you still trained around the holiday.
Yeah, I still tried to make the most of what volume I basically had set. From the last podcast, I was on like 3 hours sleep, so I think training on the Monday would have been, especially it would have been rushed, and it wouldn't have been a nice training session.
Yeah, would never recommend training if you're really sleep deprived. It's not going to be a great session. You're better just calling it a day there. So yeah,
Yeah,
probably
you're
don't
just
really
doing it
think.
for the fact of doing it, really.
Especially with the full body session. You know, you're going to be taxing the central nervous system there from all angles. So, are
It is
you?
what it is.
What's your thoughts on training on when you're away on holiday?
I leave it up to the client, to be honest. If you feel like it's one of those things that you're not actually getting a chance to relax, then that's completely fine. It's up to you. But I think everyone will soon come to realise that deviating from your routine and your habits is actually going to cause more stress. So even when I go on holiday, like, we don't go to hotels or anything, we go to Airbnbs. Like, we still prep our meals, we still have our vitamins and supplements and all. And I know some people will be like, that's not a holiday. I'm like, it is. Like, I'm away from work, you know. I'm not there with those stresses. We're still working on holiday as well, still doing like online check-ins and stuff too. But I mean, like, as you know as well, like, you went away recently there for the engagement, as I did as well, in Thailand. And you know, just being away from your usual set environments, your daily stressors, is more than enough for a holiday, in my opinion.
Yeah, a brand new environment, new places to see, new experiences, new cuisines. You can still keep a bit of structure in there, and if you like training, I'm the same boat as you. I like when I went to New Zealand there, amazing holiday, plenty of like unbelievable landscapes and stuff rather than buildings. I'm more like the outdoors, so plenty of walking, things like that. But I trained a couple of times, but didn't like. I wasn't stressed because I wasn't training. But if I got an opportunity to get a session in, it makes me feel good, so I'm going to do it. So I just trained a couple of times, but didn't put
I actually
pressure on
think quite a
myself to
lot
like.
of. Sorry, we're cutting off each other. Here,
Okay,
must be the
I
signal.
was just. I said I trained a couple of times, but didn't put any sort of pressure on myself to hit a specific quota of volume or anything like that. It was just a case of if I didn't get a session done, then I'll do it. If not, no stress. Like, it was a time away to switch off.
That's completely understandable, mate. Also, see on the front of it, just out of interest, I'm actually someone sorry fucking I absolutely love like video and cameras and shit like that there. How did you set up the picture?
The aerial one that was from the engagement.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
that was so far away. Did you just trust your camera to be miles away from you?
Nah, so actually a good story of how it happened. So we initially went up to it's Roy's Peak in Wanaka in New Zealand for anyone who's interested. Alright, it's a pretty hefty walk. I was actually advised by friends beforehand. Someone else had told Olivia's friend, she was like, she warned me, don't propose up there because the walk's just so challenging. It's going to be unbearable. And it was tough. Like, it's just relentlessly uphill on the way up. So we got through it. I was like really reassuring to Olivia and stuff the whole way up, telling her she was doing well and stuff. But she was like, don't be patronising me. But I was giving her loads of support and shit. And we finally made it up. Right, it was a tough slog. And it was even tough for me. And like, I would consider myself quite fit and able to do like hikes and things like that. But it was the adrenaline that was getting me up, because I knew that I was going to propose when I got to the top. Or at least I was like, if the moment's right, I will propose. Whereas Olivia didn't have any sort of inclination that was going to happen. So she was just like, I was expecting her to almost be like, let's call this here and we'll not do it. And I would have been okay with it and just when it wasn't to be. But we made it to the top, but it was like full of tourists who were all getting photos and stuff. Because like you've seen the photo, like it's definitely a popular tourist attraction. Like some unbelievable scenes up there. So, but it was too busy, and like she doesn't really like that sort of attention. So I was like, it's not going to happen here. So but that was the viewpoint. But the peak comes after the viewpoint. So we end up doing. We was like, well, we take a bit of a break, and I was like, well, we'll go up to the peak just so that we've done the peak, because we don't want to like call it at the viewpoint, not knowing what the peak was like. The peak was underwhelming compared to the viewpoint, but by the time we got up there, it saved us a bit of time. But when we got back down to the viewpoint, it had quietened up a bit. I was like, right, I'm gonna do it here. It was aligned, and then there was a few other couples there, and I offered to take a photo of another couple because they wanted to like from a distance. They wanted to get a photo from a distance, the way the engagement photo ended up. And I was like, yeah. So I took photos and stuff, but knowing in my head, they're going to return the favour for me here. So when they came back,
just like, right, mate,
see you later. Yeah. So they were nice to be able to repay the favour, but I just like was like, she was like, do you want to take a photo of you too? And I was like, yeah, of course. And she gave me, I was like, Olivia, give me your phone. Your phone's a bit better. Olivia, give me your phone. And I typed in, because Olivia was like within close proximity to me. She was walking away towards then the viewpoint, and I was standing with the girl. But I typed in on Olivia's notes, I'm going to propose here. And she was all like excited and stuff. And there was a few other people around who were also getting excited for it. And that, like, a reason I done it too was like, okay, she'll get a good photo, but also it gives me a bit of time, just because I was nervous, like, so it was like, gives me a bit of time just to make sure that the setting's right, because Olivia would have been like rushing and stuff and going like, right, but don't want to be holding people back. So by me telling them, they were going to give us a bit more lenience in terms of time up there, right? I did bring my tripod, and I was filming on the way up as like a vlog style, but only as like a distraction almost. So that Olivia didn't know, like, why is he bringing his tripod up here out of nowhere. So that was my sort of tactic. I brought the tripod up, and there was a close-up video and a close-up picture, but the girl took a lot of the shots that ended up, like, when I was down on one knee and stuff from a distance. She's taking all them photos on Olivia's phone and taking loads on her own phone as well, and she sent us like all that across. So that's how we ended up getting the photo. Yeah, so appreciate her, whoever she is. Belgian girl, I think. But like then there was a load of people in around who were all clapping and stuff, so it made it almost a bit more of a moment, which was nice.
I mean, that's class. That's absolutely amazing. I think it's not talked about enough either. Like, man, don't talk about it at all. Like, the excitement was unbelievable for me as well. Like, the planning, the buying the ring, like, you know, you're just that feeling's amazing. I know for a fact people will be watching this and be like, oh, two big gay boys talking about their feelings and emotions. I loved them. It definitely almost, not that I don't love Rihanna, but it reignited it. It reminded me why I did it. Like, I was thinking of all the reasons why I want this woman in my life for the rest of it.
Yeah, it's big. It's like a big moment, isn't it? And the planning behind it is funny as well, because like, I can't have anything without Olivia knowing about it. Like, she's onto it. Like, she's Hawkeye as well. So I was like, how am I gonna? And I did. By the way, I did not know the podcast was going to go here, but we'll talk about it anyway. I didn't know how I was going to get away with having the ring for so long before we went away on holiday, let alone getting it through airport security. All that stress that came of it. But the buzz and the excitement of it was also good. But the funny story was
that is the exact same story for me. The exact same.
Right, well, you get into yours after, but I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, go for it.
I hid mine in plain sight before we went away, so I was like, where am I going to hide this thing? Olivia's dad had got me a watch, but we needed to, it didn't fit, right? So it was just sitting, it just used to sit out on the bedside table in a box, and I was like, this watch is never touched. Like, Olivia wouldn't even bat an eyelid, so I put the ring underneath the watch, the box, inside, like underneath the watch in a little pouch. So it was right beside her the whole time, and she didn't know about that. But the jeweler gave me a big box as well, so the box is like obnoxious. Like, I was like, where am I going to hide the box now? So I hid the box in a sock. But I put the sock at the bottom of an empty bag of cream of rice, and then I filled it up with a full bag of cream of rice. So it was just sat at the bottom, and I brought the cream of rice with me, and so the box sat at the bottom, and it stayed there while I was away as well. The box did, and then I only took the box out of the bag of cream rice the day we were going up to do the hike, and then I put the ring in with it and stuff then. So that's the full story.
Oh man, I don't know why, I just found it so funny that you did it. Like, it was a bag of cream of rice that you were like, that's such a fucking good idea. Like, not am I going to hide it like anywhere else.
Well, of course, like, if you hide a sock in a sock drawer but there's a big box sticking out, there's a chance there that then she's going through the the sock drawer and finds it, and also thinks she was suspicious that I'm going to propose on this holiday. So it's like she's not going to look at the bottom of my creamer ice bag. It was also a lemon meringue flavour. She wouldn't touch it, so it was perfect.
Awesome, mate. I think my story is quite similar, but a wee bit different. I did it when Rihanna was on prep, and she was so, well, not like, yeah, obsessed with prep that she didn't realise what I was actually doing, you know.
That's good.
And because I think it would have been exactly the same, you know, like it's just, I don't know what it is, what we do that is a telltale sign, but you sort of know when you're up to something.
Yeah.
So got the ring, and I actually had a family member like store it in their house, like very, very trustworthy. She got a safe and all, so she just put it in the safe for me. I was like, happy days. And then I had to go round to her house to pick up suitcases. So whenever I did, I just went around, got the suitcase, and then put it. I actually took the ring and gave it to Jordan. So we didn't go travelling alone. We went travelling with our friends. So I just give Jordan the ring case, and he brought it with him. He was actually on a different flight altogether. So if he had been stopped or his bag searched, no one would have seen it anyway. But my first plan was sort of similar to yours. I have a wee box for a ring from Realta. It's a wee ring. It says Slanch on it, and I'd only got it, so I was like, I might just take my ring out and replace it with Rihanna's ring and put it in that box and pay the box somewhere else in my bag, you know. Rihanna wouldn't be as nosy to go through my stuff, you know. Maybe you should have a word with Olivia. But yeah, it was class. We got up to that point, and same thing as you get excited on the way up, and Jordan and Finn were both there as well, and they were like, we're down there up the hill, and they're like, what's your heart rate? And they're like shouting out their heart rate, because like we're all busted trying to hike up this thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, 195, and they were like 190. They were winding me up something shit. 190, like I knew I was nervous. 195, you're about to take a heart attack. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong. It just must be a hard hike. Like it must just be more unfit than I realised. I was sitting there having a panic attack, like, because it doesn't really hit you. Like I'm cool as fuck with stuff like that, completely fine. And then I came to the hike up, and I was like, oh my god, this is so rough. And then we got to the first viewpoint, and we didn't know where the second one was, and I had a funny feeling that we were in completely the wrong place altogether. So I was like, do you know what, Jordan, I'm just going to do it now. I started videoing, me and Rihanna are getting a picture, and I turned around to her and was like, it's been a long time coming. And she just sort of ignored me, and she's like, yeah, and just kept smiling for the photo. And I was like, no, Rihanna, it's been a long time coming. And she turned around, she's like, what? And she near falls off the fucking edge of the cliff. She like jumps back, and I'm like, no. But then we got the pictures at the very top and stuff on the big hand. But yeah, again, just phenomenal feeling, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The hand as well. The scene was class. Well, anyway, we get stuck in. We're done off a tangent there. That was a nice little tangent though. I like that one. We will get stuck into the episode though, which today we're going to dive into. Will be your phone use and it holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
So is the phone being a distraction?
Is it affecting your environment?
Yeah. So, focal and lay for today is chimpalocked, which is your environment, and I think a big part of maybe the overlooked one as well. Everyone knows it's a problem, but phone use in today's day and age, is a big bottleneck for people. Not just when it comes to physique development, but all around relationships. I mean, it's good for taking photos for engagements and stuff, but when it comes to doom scrolling, spending a lot of time distracted, not getting deep, undistracted work done, not socialising and being present in the moment. So, and also taken away from your physique development because of how you're spent when you're on your phone, and that quick dopamine. So we'll dive into it.
Overall development of your life, then, really.
Phone has I think one of the biggest things that helped me was putting rules in place that prevented me from using my phone as much, especially at the start and the end of the day. Keeping those times, not going on my phone at the start of the day in terms of setting up my day to be productive, and just not to get that immediate dopamine and scrolling and the world of distractions on your phone. First thing is just going to fill you full of anxiety, but it's also a nice little thing I learned from the dose effect. great book by TJ Power, is where you get your first hit of dopamine is what you crave the rest of the day. So if you go on your phone and you get quick dopamine from your phone, you're going to crave quick dopamine for the rest of the day. So it's going to be hard then to stay distracted on what actually matters, and being able to practice delayed gratification is another thing. It's so much more difficult nowadays, isn't it, because of everyone's used to instantaneous reward and information and things like that from social media in particular.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this goes across the board for everything, though. I think if you have something that you, I don't know how to word this one, something you really want, something you really, really want to do, I would probably say like caffeine is another big one for me and you. But using that as the example, like I really want my first bit of caffeine in the morning, but if you see it as something that you're going to right away, I personally see it as a bit of a problem, like an addictive habit, something that I don't really want to have. So I'll almost pull myself away from it. And this happens with everything across my whole life. Like if I find that something that I almost feel like I can't live without it, then I'll take it away altogether.
Yeah, fair enough. It is, because then it becomes something you're relying on or using as a crutch maybe. The thing with me, I love caffeine, I love coffee. Massive part of my daily ritual is going and getting the coffee. It's not even the coffee and the caffeine itself, it's that experience of going and getting it. And if you know that feeling, you just know that there's a ritual that comes alongside it too. But I'll earn the coffee in the morning by going for a walk, doing a bit of work, not going on my phone initially, doing some stuff that actually matter and dealing with the important stuff. You actually taught me this phrase, eating the frog first thing, and then going and getting that coffee. It feels a lot better when you've earned it too.
Yeah, anyone doesn't know, eating the frog is just doing the thing you don't want to do straight away. It's something that you should do. Gets rid of that big task.
So like, for example, when I was doing my photo shoot prep, I don't get a coffee until I do my morning cardio. And that was a good way of getting cardio done. It's like no one after his cardio, there's coffee going in.
Yeah, I think this definitely leads into today's topic massively. But I do think that the phone is a massive distraction. I definitely agree with you there. Especially whenever it comes to those bigger goals in life where maybe you do want to prep, maybe you do want to do a photo shoot. If you're sitting on your phone for 15 to 45 minutes before you even get out of bed, you're already losing time, especially whenever your time is restricted. And you can see that on stage, you can see that in photo shoots too, whenever people are lazy almost. And it becomes harder and harder as well, because I think your intuition goes out the door as dieting becomes very heavy too. But yeah, I think the phone can be a distraction in every single aspect of your life. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely benefits to it. You know, this podcast wouldn't be going right now if we didn't have social media. And I guess to sort of dive into it a wee bit deeper, I don't think the phone's the big problem. I think social media is the big problem, really.
It's maybe not the phone that is the problem, it is your use of the phone that becomes a problem. It's the same thing with anything. The objects aren't the problem, it's your relationships with them that make it a problem. When it comes to phone use, I think most people think they need more discipline. Would be say a lot of the time they just need better phone habits. One of the almost lowest hanging fruits to improving your life and your productivity, your performance, your presence, and you're actually appreciating the day to day is just by spending a bit more time like on the phone. First thing in the morning, as I say, don't go on the phone. It means I'm not reactive to what's whatever. I'm not consuming that quick dopamine. I'm not getting distracted by emails or replies and stuff right away. I'm taking that 5 minutes in the initial part of the day to myself, maybe going out for a walk, something I'll do, reading a few pages, and replacing that phone habit with something else. Like I've almost implemented a phone fasting sort of period in the morning, where our first hour, no phone at all. It's probably a bit extreme, you don't have to do an hour, but it's definitely helped me at my levels of productivity, and just how my day starts. How your day starts usually dictates how it goes as well.
I think that's a brilliant one, to be honest. I think as well, for most people, the first hour of the day is so not chaotic, but it's so filled anyway with trying to get your day started that realistically the phone isn't needed. I'm being a hypocrite here. I'm definitely someone who uses their phone their first hour, but from this conversation alone already, like I'm already contemplating sort of taking it away, and a conversation me and you had as well about that we walk in the mornings too. I keep telling myself I don't have time for it, but it's mainly because in my head everything's wired to be in like 30-minute to 1 hour blocks. But like you said, 5 minutes is more than enough, and that's it. Whenever I get the gym open in the morning, like I could easily just go out onto the road, go for a quick 5-minute walk and straight back in again, and that wouldn't affect my day at all, and I would actually benefit it. So trying to use that sort of concept and process of Kaizen as well, trying to find them 1% where we can benefit ourselves from day to day. And it's actually realising as well that the phone is a great fucking, it's an amazing attribute to our life whenever we want it to be, but it can also be a negative too. We can also use it to sort of escape from our day-to-day life, and if you're using it to escape, maybe it is a problem, or maybe there is a bigger problem you're not actually dealing with as well.
It's an amazing tool, don't get me wrong. Like, it's given us so much in terms of the interaction. Like, we can interact from across the world, not necessarily because of a phone, but because of a device, a computer. But same sort of idea. I can connect the people back home from using my phone. I can keep in touch with friends, family, stuff like that. But it becomes an issue when you're using it as a crutch. You're over relying on it. There's so much like quick dopamine, and your phone's designed, these social media apps are designed now to hook your attention. Probably guilty of it as coaches. You're aware of hooks and trying to hook people's attention with your short form reels and things like that. But there's so much of it, and you can just end up losing so much time on that phone. And like, that's that quick dopamine. You always feel like a crash after it. Like that feeling after you've spent a lot of time scrolling your phone is similar to any sort of quick dopamine that you're getting. Like really, really high levels of it afterwards, there's always a bit of a crash, isn't there? So it's about trying to find more slow release dopamine that's a bit more steady, and you don't have that feeling afterwards like a bit of a slump.
Yeah, I think you pay a bit more gratitude too, definitely. There was something you touched on there and it's completely went out of my head, mainly because I'm actually having a big spasm in my erectors right now from deadlifting, and it's causing me a bit of issues, but I'm fine. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. This feels really nice.
It's alright, mate. Again, it was something we spoke about last week, wasn't it? If you haven't tuned in to the back training and the erectors, again, our hip hinge being the main source of getting some stimulus through the erectors. You've obviously gotten your fair share there, mate, by the sounds of things.
Yeah, mate, I actually, out of any part of my body, like in terms of development, in terms of how it actually looks when it's lean, like I am perplexed by this part of my body, because like it almost looks like I have abs on my erectors. So
it's good. That's probably something that's missing in a lot of people, because they're not doing their hip hinges.
Yeah, big fan of them. We could accidentally dive into that there too deep, so we'll leave that one there.
We'll park that. One of the main things with phones, if you're trying to be productive, especially as someone who is maybe self-employed, it's going to fracture your level of focus. You're going to be constantly. It can be easily go into. I mean, we've probably all done it, where you can go into a loophole where you're checking your phone too often, and you're not being able to put some deep, undistracted focus work in. A great book I read, Deep Work, highly recommend it, especially for anyone that's self-employed. But they say that, I think it's Cal Newport, the author, he says the quality of work little equation is the time multiplied by the intensity of the focus. So that's being able to actually perform deep work, is undistracted amount of focus that you're able to put into something where almost you lose track of time and space when you're doing it, because you're so into it. You want to try and find those periods where you can put some deep work together, and that's when the good stuff gets done. It's when your ideas and stuff can flow and things like that. Your phone definitely takes away from that. If you're constantly getting dopamine hit after hit on your phone, how can you zone in and focus? So it's probably the biggest bottleneck there.
Definitely. I got given a bit of advice a few years ago, and I think I was just not ready for it yet, or maybe not able to understand it well enough. But I actually had a call with Jordan Shallows just after the Prescript seminar, and one of the biggest bits of advice that he just rambled on about was task switching, like the ability to actually put 100% into one task, and whenever that time or that segment or that whatever you've given to that is done, that you're able just to leave it there and be done with it altogether. Whereas I think that's actually probably a big problem with phones these days. You'd mentioned the brick or the block, whatever. I've seen both. Just I don't really know which one it is, but the brick being a very beneficial one to people, but it could be something that sort of ties into that. You know, you've got your task management there of being like when it's done, it's done. If you want to dive into what that is and let people know.
So basically, is that more in and around? Are you talking about brick? What brick specifically is?
Yes.
Yeah, bricks. It's like a device that blocks you from using your phone for a certain amount of time. I'm not too sure on the exact how it actually works, but when the brick is active, you can't use your phone. I think it locks your phone on you, which is a way of keeping you away from your phone. But the thing you were talking about, which it's good that you had a call with Jordan Shallows as well, but maybe that's more that's about time blocking as well. Time blocking tasks, setting a set amount of time to perform a task, and then being able to focus on that until it's done. Yeah, that's. But I'm not too sure. What do you think about the brick? I think it's a good one if you're over reliant on your phone. It's a good way of limiting that use, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to start developing better habits, but I don't think it actually fixes the root cause in general of why you're using the phone so much, or why you're, again, it's, in my opinion, again, it's just not the phone, it's the social media platforms really, like why we're finding ourselves doom scrolling and wasting so much time. So like, are you unhappy? Do you know what I mean? Are you looking for those hits of serotonin and dopamine from things like that, because maybe you don't feel like you don't have any drive, you don't have any potential, you know, like to sort of hit the harder things here. And you know, if this conversation in general do you is uncomfortable, like it's probably an insight that maybe you are using your phone a wee bit too much.
I think a lot of people would probably be embarrassed or scared to look at their screen time for that exact reason too, where they don't want to know. It's almost like if you don't know, it's not an issue, and you don't want to accept that there might be a problem there. But I think, again, because if you look at your environment, everyone around you is doing it anyway, so you can almost conform then, and it enables it because everyone else is doing it, so you don't think it's that much of an issue. It's just a modern world. But if you actually zoom out a bit, you realise that a lot of your time is being taken up, and not in a good way, and you're losing it to just scroll on your phone.
Look, every coach knows this saying: if it's measured, it's managed.
Yeah,
and this goes, it's across the board for every single bit of data point. But you know, the fact that we can go on our phones and see how long we spend on it. In January there, I did the exact same thing. I was quite embarrassed at my overall screen time, and every single week from then I had made it a goal to reduce that and optimise it more than anything. I knew that the work I was doing on my phone or on my laptop could have been done so much quicker, so much faster, and at that I'm just buying back time, really, aren't I?
Yeah, there's certain things you can do as well, like deleting apps from your home screen and stuff, so you're less likely to go on and they're not as visible. So again, like what's in your line of sight and what's visible, to tie to atomic habits, it's going to warrant your attention, then you're more likely to go towards that. So if you remove it from your line of sight, then you're less likely to get distracted by it because it's not there, you have to go looking for it. So again, it's like make bad habits hard and making good habits easy is a and you can actually, there's functions within your phone that can help you do that too.
Yeah, I actually think this is a great thing, that switching over to OneFit. Again, another OneFit advertisement from me and Emmett. I actually had a message from someone as well about asking is it worth switching from sheets to it. but to get on and use your like get your nutritional plan, get your training plan, like any sort of bit of data that you're needing for the day, it automatically prompts you with a check-in.
Yeah, the only
As far as I'm aware.
downside I would say to it, and it's based on the individual and how they're using. It's not the tool itself, but it's how the use of the tool is. If you are using, you know, you log your workout to MonFit, which is excellent because as coaches we can see how things are moving and how things are progressing. But if you're using your phone while you're training, it can be easier to go on distracted and go on the other apps and stuff. I find, I've actually had clients recently who have gone away from using their phone to log the
I'm gonna
data
mute for just 2 wee seconds. I'm sorry, I can hear someone out there.
So a good thing I've been able to have clients do is use a notebook to log their sessions, and then afterwards they will note it into the app so that they find they were just spending too much time distracted by emails and WhatsApp messages and scrolling while they were on the app, and that was taken away from their ability to train and focus in the gym. So that's another thing that is worth considering. These apps on your phone, even if the right intention there is like if they're to get you to train hard and stuff, they can still distract your attention if you're using your phone. So you can maybe set some rules there. Put your phone in airplane mode if you're going to use that app to log your data, or input it in afterwards by using a bit of a notepad.
My bad. There's just people coming into the gym where I didn't have a clue what was going on.
All good, sir.
What did I miss? Sorry.
I just said that again. The only downside to the OneFit app is if you end up you're logging your workout on your phone, but you're then using your phone more as a result of that. So you can just take yourself away from it by either using a notepad, pen and paper, and then inputting it into the app afterwards, or putting your phone in airplane mode while you're doing it so that you're not distracted, and you just maybe limit yourself to, I'm only using my phone here to go onto the app. Everything else is, apps are closed on do not disturb, and it's because you don't want your focus to be taken away when you're training. That's one of the most important things, and a lot of people you will see distracted while training is another massive thing.
That's actually an interesting one. Did you see AJ's story? AJ Morris? No, he's videoing Laws. Laws is like proper losing the bop. There's two girls on the leg presses, and they're sitting on their phones, and she's like, what the fuck, like they're not even using it.
Lying on the leg press at a 45-degree angle with your phone over your head like that, honestly, that would annoy you. And that is what you see in the gym. And it's like, I've also seen people on their phone scrolling while doing a set. Like, how much is how distracted are you there? That you're actually on your phone while on a leg press, just kicking up and down, for example. It's like, you may as well not be doing that. That is defeating the entire purpose. You're there. Like, your workout, your time to yourself to switch off, to go away from your phone. That your time for self-improvement is being taken away just because you're sitting on your phone scrolling. I've seen it before as well, where people have been doing sets, they're in the gym, and then they're taking phone calls and getting really annoyed. It's like a high stress phone call, might have been like a work call or something like that, and it's like, for that hour and a half you're in the gym, just put your phone away. You don't need it. In fact, not even just when you're in the gym, but maybe you can set context who you really need to speak to, and then put everything else on do not disturb. You have emergency contacts. You don't need to be on your phone that much, and especially if you're in the gym, it can wait until after. That's your time. You have to be a bit selfish there.
No, I totally agree. I see this so often. It's sort of why I've went back and reverted into training in HQ only. The distractions of people in general can be very, very hard to deal with, and it irritates me whenever I see people not training correctly as well. I like the idea of like gyms that don't allow phones to be, well, not that they don't be allowed to be used, but like if you're sitting on TikTok and reels and stuff, like lock in for the hour. do you know what I mean? At least give yourself that amount of respect. And I think that's where a lot of this sort of comes from as well, like respecting the weight and all. Like, you don't understand how much of a problem that causes overall. Like, you're wondering why you're injured. You're wondering why you're not making progress. You know, you're wondering why you're just not satisfied with everything you're doing. You know, it's very simple. You're just not giving it the time and care it demands. So
100%.
Yeah, the going to an even further point here as well is that there's a lot of shit going on outside of what we're even talking about here, like where social media platforms are actually being sued for like degrading people's mental health. And I understand that if there's an entity there purposely going out of its way to try and cause not damage, but try and cause that to happen where your attention span and stuff gets down regulated, yes, they are definitely at cause there, but it's the same thing with other things in life, you know, like it's really just down to the user, it's down to the person that's using it, and fuck, there's amazing benefits to it, you know, like you can be quick, like me and Emmett could probably be very fastly educated through reels alone, you know, of course it's going to be more beneficial to read a book and stuff, but whenever we have someone, like I have, for example, Emmett, who has read a book and he's able to take this large amount of information and dumb it down to a paragraph, like that's fucking amazing. Like that's amazing that he's able to get me educated to a short attention span, to a short 30-second clip, you know, or at least get me interested in that topic. And it's the same with how you're probably going to see some of these clips here. Like some people are never ever going to actually listen to our podcast, but they're going to see blips of it coming through on the reels. You know, like it's so helpful that way. But on the other side of it, like if you're being lost in just brain rot constantly, it is gonna have a negative effect on you.
Yeah, 100%. See what you said about the training as well, and not giving it the time. Like that means you're not getting the benefits of actually, like, you've made the effort to go to the gym, obviously with the intentions of getting into better shape, improving yourself. So give yourself that time. Like, allow yourself to be present and not get distracted by things you're distracted by the rest of the day. The phone's not going to go anywhere, you know. And like, I could be a bit of a hypocrite here because I use the phone when I'm training to record sets and stuff, and I would recommend you, if you are training in the gym, to record your sets, because that's going to help you improve your training, refine over time. But at the same time, use it for that purpose, and set yourself some boundaries as well. There was actually a gym in Australia who banned tripods from being used.
Seen this a couple of places. What's your thought process behind that?
So it was obviously a bit of a controversial one. I think the intention was that there were too many people. Gyms were just absolutely packed full of tripods, and it was maybe there were certain people whose privacy, for example, wasn't being respected. I think that I understand both sides, but also, as someone that records workouts, understands the value of recording sets for both content purposes, to send to a coach, is invaluable too. So I think there makes maybe a bit of a middle ground needs to be reached. Like if people are happy enough being in the background, maybe you just have the courtesy of telling them, like, you're recording. If someone walks in between, it's fine. You know, it's not your gym as well. So I'll never like crack up if someone walks in the way, you know. But I think it's a bit extreme. Personally, I don't think it needs to be that way. Maybe just some ground rules in place where you respect other people's privacy too, and their time to be in the gym. But if you're not like distracting or like recording them, or you're not doing any harm, I think it's no issue. Like, I think crack on with it.
Yeah, you touched on it there. The extremes of it are the problem. It's not the the basics of it, of you being like, I just record my sets so I can look back on them and get a bit of feedback here. I also post them on social media sometimes. You know, you have that, which is very normal, and if someone walks in front of your tripod, you don't get annoyed. If someone was to knock your tripod down, again, you wouldn't really get annoyed. You're like, do you know what, it happens, it is what it is, it's an accident. And it is just being polite that way, but it is the extremes of the person that doesn't understand that at all and just feels like they're in the way, they're a problem, they're being recorded, they're not seeing the benefit to people. And it's the other extremes as well, where people are fucking, you know, we see the videos of women videoing themselves squatting in very tight clothing, trying to get like basically like clip content of being like, this guy was staring at my ass. And it's like, okay, I understand why people are feeling like they're, you know, they're sorry, I used that word there, I can't remember what it was, but that they're actually being invaded, their privacy is being invaded.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think, yeah, touched on it there. It is about finding a bit of a common ground. Just don't be a dick.
So if I'm somebody that is constantly on their phone doom scrolling, but I do everything that I need to do in a day, is it still a problem?
What do you need to do in a day if you're constantly doom scrolling? Because maybe then you're not getting, maybe you don't have goals that are large enough that you're able to get everything done, but you're also able to spend endless amount of time doom scrolling. So how much time are you actually spending doom scrolling? How much of the work that you're doing in terms of what you need to get done is moving the needle forward, rather than being maybe just busy work or like just ticking boxes and feeling like you're doing things, but is it moving you forward? Because I think you need time away from the phone to actually get meaningful work done. It's all well and good being busy and feeling like you're doing stuff, but I would say, what is the ROI there? What are you getting back from everything you need to get done if you're spending loads of it on your phone? Also, like, are you protecting your mental health there as well, where you're performing a load of tasks, but you're also not switching away from your phone and being present? So I think there's definitely logic in moving away from it for both those reasons, for both productivity and meaningful work, but also for being able to take that time away to just be present in real life. Like, I think a big one is relationships. Like, so if you're getting everything done that you need to get done, but you're not giving time to your relationship because you're on your phone, so you've got everything you need to get done, so your reward is going on your phone and scrolling, as opposed to switching off, having real meaningful conversations with people that are important in your life. Like we touched on the start there about engagements and tying the knot with our fiancés, but if our time with them is spent on our phone, are we really giving them the time that we should be? So that's
it. If they're a loved one, like, are you actually showing them love? Or is some wee device more important? I know when it comes to life or death, but like this is you building the foundations of the rest of your life, like, and if this is the way it's going to be sort of set out going forward, like, can you expect it to be long and prosperous? Are you going to get everything that you want out of it? Are you going to feel fulfilled at the end of it? Like I look at some older couples, like especially like Rihanna's granda and granny are an amazing example. Like, her granny passed away, and you could tell her granda was still head over heels in love years later. Like, I mean, unbelievably, and that definitely gave me a big eye opener. Like that, that person's so important to you.
Yeah, so use the time with them meaningfully and make memories, as opposed to if you're looking back and you're like, fuck, I was on my phone the whole time, didn't even get to know them. So like, how bad it is when you're spending time with someone, you may be telling them something that is important to you or a story that's meaningful to you, and you look over and they're sitting scrolling, they're going, yep, yeah, but they're distracted, and you're like, it just almost saps your energy, and you don't want to, you then tune out, then disengage. You don't want to speak to them because you're feeling like they're not paying attention to you because they're being distracted by their phone. They not necessarily might be doing it, with malice. In fact, I know they're not. But when that happens, you're like, it just
causes a disconnection.
Yeah. So me and Olivia we've made a big sort of emphasis, and I do torture her about it, about spending too much time on their phone. I make sure that when we're with each other in each other's company, we're not scrolling. Like when we're going for a coffee, we can put our phones away. Either put our phones face down on the table, or put our phones in our pockets, out of sight. So if it's out of sight, out of mind. And when we're watching, even like people can't watch TV or watch a series on Netflix. Years ago, you would have, adults and parents would have been telling their kids not to be watching too much TV. Now you can almost encourage them to watch a bit more of it without being distracted by the quick dopamine, because at least when you're watching TV or a series, it demands a bit of attention. So
yeah, it increases the attention span as well.
yeah, so I would say even when you're watching something as simple as watching a series on Netflix with your other half, put your phone away. Don't be sitting scrolling while it's just on in the background then, as a distraction. And I think it's because people are probably afraid to sit in silence or sit with their thoughts as well. Like, someone leaves, for example, to go to the bathroom, and you're with them. What's the first thing you're going to do? Go to your phone and scroll. If you're on public transport or you're waiting on, say, a train, for example, you're sitting on your phone all the time. Like, it's okay to sit in boredom and sit in silence for a few minutes, and not revert to the phone. It's difficult, don't get me wrong. It's a challenge, but I would challenge you to do that.
Some people like genuinely see you as weird for doing that. You know, like Rihanna goes to, like, for example, we're in Barcelona, she went to the toilet, and I just sat there looking around at the ceiling, and like, again, the architecture, this restaurant was absolutely beautiful, so I was sitting looking at like all the sort of the way it was like, developed in the ceiling and stuff, and I looked across and fella was just staring me out, and I was like, what the fuck's your problem? Like yeah, I'm just
why is that fella not on his phone? What is going on?
Literally, yeah, that's I think was going through his head, like,
yeah, why is he like actually looking around and being present with his surroundings? Yeah, but that's good. That's an example of like taking yourself out of going into a new environment. It's you're more like, that's a new stimulus, so you're less likely then to be as like have the urge to go on your phone, because you actually want to take it in a bit more. But take that into your everyday life as well, like.
Yeah, and in terms of, like, we've talked about developing habits and like your progress and the process of that. The things that we can also do as well is we can develop bad habits, and we can actually destroy things there that have been set in place as good foundations. So if you have the ability to develop a good habit, a bad habit in terms of this here would be actually shortening your attention span. Your ability to pay attention for long periods of time would actually diminish. And again, I think that's where we're sort of talking about it now, is that it's actually mad to think that our parents were shouting at us for watching long form content, and now you're kind of being pushed towards it, to be like, that's actually the healthier thing to do.
Yeah, so essentially just listen to this podcast or watch it on YouTube, and don't be scrolling on reels on your phone, and it's a much better choice. So everyone listen to this or watch this.
Do you actually think it is?
I think I think so, 100%, because it requires a bit more focus when it's a long form piece of content, as opposed to constant distractions, constant dopamine, new stimulus all the time, like from TikTok and like Instagram reels. Like, again, for example, if you're eating a meal, I would say don't be scrolling on your phone, don't be sending messages, don't be checking emails, don't be on TikTok. But if you, and a compromise there, and it's something I do, is watch a YouTube video, or maybe if you can't sit in the silence, listen to a podcast while you're eating the meal, and you're still gonna be able to actually focus and be present on the meal more so than if you're using your phone to scroll, and then you're not present at all while you're eating your food. That's another thing as well. Maybe you can't get in shape, you're constantly feeling hungry, but you're not being present, sitting down, taking your time, eating your food. Big part of that is your phone. It all ties back to your phone.
I was actually going to say that. It was a topic that actually came up recently with a couple of people I was chatting to. It's a fucking an amazing one. You know, like, what way your body inherently prepares itself to eat. If it's distracted by a phone, it doesn't even know the food's there. It does, but you know, you should, in terms of a process of digestion and everything. And this sounds absolutely nuts, but give it a go. I would sort of prompt anybody listening to this to give it a go, Next time you have your food, get rid of all distractions, even TV. Sit there with food in front of you, smell it, and watch what happens within the first 10 seconds. Saliva starts developing. Your body is getting ready. That central nervous system is actually starting to down regulate as well. It knows it's not out hunting anymore. You're getting ready to eat. You know, you're going to enjoy every single bite of it as well.
You're shifting into like a parasympathetic state as well, and that's the process of digestion starts there. That process you explained, like the smell and stuff of the food, that's where digestion actually starts, and you start building up an appetite from that. But if you're not even smelling the food, that is a problem. If you're on your phone, consumed, and you're just hoofing it down you, guarantee you're not going to be taking your time. Guarantee you're not going to be present, enjoying the meal. If you're, well, again, this is a good example. If you're out for a meal with a partner, for example, you're not going to be on your phone because you actually make sure you don't do it when you go out eating. Most people do. Whereas when you're home, you will. When you're at home, you'll maybe go on your phone a bit more. But if you take the restaurant setting into your home environment, why do you think you enjoy the meal at the restaurant so much more? Because you're so much more present with the food that's in front of you, with the person who's in front of you as well, and you're actually connecting, and you're also enjoying the meal. Whereas when you're at home eating and hoofing down you and scrolling on TikTok, you're not doing either of those things. You're not connecting with another person, and you are not being present with food in front of you. So like that is probably a really underrated way of making sure you get in shape. It's just by actually being present and putting your phone away when you're eating.
It's also another big reason as well, the why we have so many people these days, and we probably see it more than any whenever we're actually coaching people or even trying to make a diet plan, of people telling you they don't like certain foods. The problem is that you're not actually giving the food the time it needs to actually consume it, and you're not actually enjoying it. So what is the only thing that's going to overpower the dopamine hit from your phone? Probably something that's high. What's the word I'm looking for here, Emmett? You talk about it when you're dieting.
Probably.
Yeah, but more
highly palatable.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Highly palatable food. That's the only stuff that's going to overpower that. It's the stuff that's going to be so fucking strongly potent in your mouth that you're like, oh my god, that's actually amazing. Like, or maybe I'll actually put the phone down because its ice cream tastes great. But if you're getting to the point where you're not even taking time to enjoy your food that you actually really, really like that's a fucking problem. Like that's a big issue. Like if you're scarring it down so you can get rid of the task of not eating, so you can have both hands on that phone, like that's an issue. Like people need to actually take 10 seconds to actually think about this. Like that's a problem. And I'm not sitting here like I'm the master at this. I'm not. Like I'm guilty of it too, but the big thing that I'm trying to do now is actually deal with it. It's actually find a solution for it and trying to find the root cause of that as well. Like actually deal with my shit.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, it's not that we're saying that we've never done this. We're speaking from experience too. It's very difficult to put your phone away and be present, but when you do it, you realise the benefit of it, and there is logic to it. Another thing you mentioned there, which isn't really related to the phone, but like ultra processed, highly palatable foods is a big reason why people almost can't get their palate is a bit ruined by that, where they can't enjoy whole foods anymore. More bland foods they see is so boring, but I guarantee you, if you take a step away from always eating ultra processed foods, you will appreciate nutrient dense whole foods a lot more, because your palate will evolve with that as well.
The example, 6 months in prep, the ongoing joke of like some of the meals I was having, it gets to the point where you just don't even care anymore. Everything tastes amazing. Like, I'm not saying it was the best food I've ever had, but like there was a point where I like baked my oats and had tuna with it, and I was like, this is a good meal. Like I actually don't mind this at all. And I know that sounds absolutely nuts, but you get to the point, it does, and it's so easy to get back to that point. Like spend 15 weeks eating clean food, you'll realise right away. You'll be like, fuck, that stuff's really affecting me. Like, I'm not going to go to tuna and oats levels, but
we'll see that's an extreme example, but it also, if you've dieted, you know that you appreciate food a lot more, and your taste buds light up more, and it's because when you're dieting properly, you're limiting those ultra processed foods because you don't really have the allowance, the calorie allotment to get them in. So you're going to shift naturally to more nutrient dense whole foods to make your diet more bearable. If it's a sustainable diet done properly, that is, you're going to cut out those foods that are dense in calories but not dense in nutrients, because then you're going to quickly find out that I'm hungry all the time and my performance isn't great. So I'm going to have to counter this with nutrient dense foods that I need to take my time with, and that they're going to fill me up a bit more.
Definitely agree. We're sort of coming to the hour mark. Do we have anything else to sort of deep dive into with this topic?
I would say a few just practical takeaways to take from this in regards to being distracted by your phone. A couple that I've implemented that have been an absolute game changer. I'd say a lot of the success I've had with improving my routine, improving my habits, improving my physique over the past year has come from implementing these things. A lot of it to do with putting the phone away. No phone for the first part of your day. Like, don't go straight to the phone. Instead, replace that with something that's a bit more slow release. Go for a walk. Go read a couple of pages. Brush your teeth. How little people can actually brush their teeth for 3 minutes? It's such a mundane, annoying task. But if you can't do that, and again, another thing from the dose effect, it's probably a sign that your dopamine levels are too low, and that you can't spend that time. That's one takeaway. No phone at the start of your day.
Can I throw one in there as well? If
ahead.
you cannot go to the toilet without being on your phone. Like, I know so many fucking reoccurring issues in the gym where, like, we only have one toilet. Someone's in there for 45 minutes. I'm beating on the door. Stop fucking, like, they're sending me reels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, I mean this here in the least crude way possible. Enjoy your shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Literally.
enjoy that relief of it. Like, the same way your food. Enjoy processing it. You know what I mean? Sit down and
be
just
present.
like,
Be present. There's nothing like a good shit.
genuinely, 110%. Dropping the kids off to the school is the best part of my day. You know, the relief I get of it. It's amazing.
Yeah. Be present and not, like, don't be ruining it. Even maybe read a couple of pages of a book. This is an extreme example. Replace that phone with a book, and you'll do well. Another one is no phone before bed. That's another rule I have. No phone before bed. And to go further, I do not bring my phone into the bedroom. It does not go into the bedroom. The bedroom is for one thing, two things potentially, but to keep it PG, the phone's for sleeping.
Sorry, I'm moving this camera around because there we go. The lighting's not
if your phone is on your if your bed is on your phone in bed.
If your bed is on your phone in bed.
Let me say it again. I was distracted by your mic. There was a bit of shuffling around. If you are kind of, it's going to be difficult to associate bed with sleep. If you go into your bed and you're scrolling on your phone before bed, you're getting, again, but you're obviously going to be getting a load of blue light and suppressed melatonin, but you're also distracted before bed as well, and it's hard to dissociate. Just keep the bed for just sleeping in.
Yeah,
and that's
100% agree. I think the constant problems that we see across the board, I don't know if some of your clients have them, but clients that I have, most people come on board that have problems with waking up. They actually have problems with their food. They have problems with going to the toilet as well. A lot of people I've actually had, and they have problems with going to sleep. Those are all sort of, they actually demand a wee bit of time and a wee bit of action from you to calm down. You said it's sort of parasympathetic, and you've got yourself high strung all the time through watching continuous reels, doom scrolling, not giving it attention. Like, that's your problem. You would be surprised how many things will be fixed, and a domino effect of that, like fixing waking up, and the domino effect of getting to bed, will be amazing.
Your life will 10x fold by knocking on your phone at the start of the day and the end of the day. Fact. You will see so much improvement from those two things alone in how your day-to-day runs. If you can control the bookends, the start and the end, and not be distracted by your phone, that first part of the day, really important. Take in some sunlight, get some quick release dopamine, allow your body to wake up, allow yourself to have some time before distractions, and that end part of the day, allow yourself to shift into parasympathetic state. Replace that habit of going on your phone scrolling with reading a couple of pages. Again, that's a really good habit, a good thing to get into, as opposed to load of distractions before bed. You're starting and ending your day, it's with just distractions. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that's I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Emmett, to be honest.
So a couple of things I like to do as well. Another extra one is for again, like work related things. I'll keep it as much on my laptop as possible and away from the phone, and that goes for like exercise analysis, replying to clients, emails, things like that. I try and keep it off the phone so that I can keep it's just again, it's avoid distractions and avoid me going on and going on a tangent of scrolling on the phone.
I think there's I do that are much different than you there, really.
Another little thing you could do is turn your notifications off as well. It's so simple, like still like all little small low hanging fruits like that.
Yeah. Don't actually sorry to jump in there, but don't be actually accepting, you know, that whenever you actually download an app of it, like setting the notifications, especially if it's an app that you feel like is going to be distracting. Like I don't have the notifications set up for TikTok. Like I don't go on that app at all, bar to like post what I've already posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't engage with anyone. It's just another way to get content out, you know.
Even like group chats and stuff, just mute them. You can still go in and send messages when you need to, but you don't need to have notifications turned on, because then you're just it's gonna draw your attention. So it's just about avoiding distractions and doing what you can to limit that and adapting your environment in a way that allows you, like, it makes it more difficult to access your phone and easier to do things that actually add to your life.
Definitely agree. Again, a bit hypocritical after the video I sent you the other day. But if you've gotten to the point in the day as well where you're actually driving while on your phone, or you're like, I've heard of a couple of people like as a joke saying about like watching reels while driving.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's mental.
I mean, that's putting other people's lives at risk there as well. Like, so that's not good.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts.
So, like, in summary here, the whole thing to tie back is your phone is training your attention every single day, and if you have a distracted mind, it's going to be an uphill battle to build a disciplined life. And like, it's just like, if your morning start with that reaction like we've spoken about, don't be surprised when the whole day you're reacting to stuff as opposed to being in control. So you want to get in control of your life, it starts with a phone. You don't need to throw it away, but you need to stop living in its mercy.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add. Man's hit the nail on the head.
So in summary, less time on your phone, more time being present, and like, again, it's a bit of a life hack that everyone knows exists, but no one wants to implement it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty well covered for this episode, Emmett. What do you think?
I think so too, sir. I mean, initially we were going to dive in and talk about environment as a whole, but we decided we realised that the phone is probably the main thing that underpins distractions across your environment. So that's why we've decided to niche down a bit there with just focus on the phone. So if you implement those couple of things and you take anything away from it, spend a bit less time on your phone, make it more difficult to access your phone and access your time, like actually value and appreciate your own time enough to take yourself away from that and to focus on what actually matters and what actually builds your life, as opposed to just what takes away and distracts you very slowly. It's the silent killer.
The silent killer again is social media. Okay.
But make sure at the same time that you're listening and watching Craic'n Coachin podcast.
Yeah. Right, we're gonna wrap it up there, folks. We will see you for another episode next week.
See you next week.
Are we doing a mini pod? Maybe.
I'm up for it.
Maybe if I have time. Okay. We'll chat about it in a second. But yes, folks, have a great fucking week.
Stay off your phones.
Yeah. Enjoy life. And yeah, just go out and get it. Have a great fucking week, Emmett.
You too, sir. Slan.
Slang go for it.